Well, if everything's going to plan, and I really hope it is, then this should be, it should be about something. And I'm really hoping everyone is here and can hear me. Holy crap, there we are. Okay, well, let's see what the YouTubes say. I hope everyone's around. If you are around, please say hello to me and my squeaky chair. So, it should be about something. Usually it's me and Mr. Michael Smulik sitting here in the hot seat. But tonight it's a little different, because tonight Mr. Michael Smulik is, well, somewhere behind the firehouse, I think. He's doing an online concert, which we're all really excited about. And if you aren't there, then, well, then you're here. Or somewhere else, I suppose. Now, tonight, usually in cases like this, of course, I would have a guest. And I do have a guest tonight. I have a guest tonight, and that guest is going to be a woman named Sarah Scharf. Sarah Scharf is an American, and she is a wonderful, turns out she's my neighbor. And when she comes, she is going to be sitting right here with me. The fact is, though, right now, she is on another interview in my bedroom. She is on an interview call. I guess it's an Instagram live thing. And she is talking with a woman in California. And the thing is, Sarah has written a book. And it's going to be great to talk to her about this book. This is, by the way, the book. I don't know if we'll be able to see that. Hey, there's somebody there. I have an echo. The echo's okay now. Well, that's good. That's the book, by the way. I hope we can see that. Oh, maybe because of the green, it's going to get weird on the green screen. Yeah, I'm going to go... I think I know what the echo is, so I'm going to go try to stop that echo. I've got an extra long mic now, which is really cool. So I can kind of move around with my mic. As I said, oh gosh, YouTubes. See, up until now, ever since we switched over to YouTube, Michael has always been the guy who has been doing the tech work for the YouTubes. And we've kind of changed everything around. And so I'm working with a whole new system, working with these new mics, which we used at Michael's, but I hadn't used here, so it took a long time to get that together. But, you know, so are the struggles of It Should Be About Something and their technical unprowess. Pavlov's dog in the house, and Andrew also. This is awesome. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. And so I hope it's working. I see a big flashing thing right now. It says, warning, please check the video resolution, the current resolution, which is not optimal. Open a widget. I don't know if I want to open a widget right now, but it is what it is. Speaking of it is what it is, I want to tell you all a little story about something that happened to me this past weekend. I went to Germany, and you're smart. You can make it work. Well, I think I did. Just give me that confirmation, Andrew. So I went to Germany, and I was to go to the 19th version of the Würzburg International Improvisation Theater Festival. 19 years they've been doing it. It got started by Topi and Nadine back in the day, and for the last 12 years, Lena Fursch has been working on this whole thing. And she's been running it, being the künstlerische Leiterin, or the artistic director, for the past few years now. And I've known Lena for a long time. Some of you who know me might know that I went on tour with Lena a couple of years ago. We created a show called B-Sides. And I've known Lena for forever, and I love her very much. And this was her last year. And this year, 24 hours before the festival was supposed to start, Corona and the measures basically canceled the festival, and everyone stayed home. And Lena had 24 hours then again to reschedule the entire festival. Well, rather, reschedule all of the performances for the entire festival, because the contracts for these theaters were still there. And so I went up with the lovely and talented Anne Raab, and she and I, along with Günter Lösel and Nicole Erickson and Bea, whose last name I don't know, but she was wonderful, and Steve Jaron showed up, Nadine Antler showed up at some point. There was just a loose form, and we were the ones that were there the whole time. The others kind of came and went. And we ended up playing like 6 or 7 shows in 5 days. It was amazing. It was wild. It was what an improv festival looks like in 2020. And I just need to say publicly how proud I am of Lena for all of the work that she's done over the years, and all the stuff that her and her team did. It was like they put on the party just for us, which was amazing. So good, I did it. You're always a treat to watch. You two are always a treat to watch together. Pavlov's dog. It was an awkward festival. Pavlov's dog. I still don't know who Pavlov's dog is, but now it's somebody who was at the festival. I don't know who Pavlov's dog is. Should I know if it... This is the craziest. Did we talk about this? Yeah, I don't know who Pavlov... I'm glad you're here, Pavlov. And you were at the festival? It was a super awkward festival, but man, they did such a good job. And we tried to get stuff going, and we did, we played in this huge, the Posthalle, which is like the second largest room for indoor entertainment in Würzburg. For like concerts, they'll have like 3,000 people in there. And we played to a sold out crowd of like, I don't know, 170 people. It was crazy. Yeah, in any case, I was really glad that I could be there. And while I was there, Anne and I and the lovely and talented Scarlett, we interviewed everybody that was there and asked them all the same questions. And it was sort of like the motto was improv in 2020. Everyone says it is what it is, but how is it? And I got to interview everybody and ask them the same questions, and now I'm slowly cutting it together to make a little, not quite a documentary, but a document of like a postcard from the past that we can look back on and say, oh, that is, in that malaise, that's really what it was. That's what it was all about. Silke. Silke. I think I might know who Silke is. I think I might know who Silke is. There's lots of Silkes. Okay. All right. We'll see. All right. I'm closer now. Yeah. In any case, that was pretty crazy. And then last night, I was the host of the gala grand opening of a new theater that has just gala grand opened here in Vienna called Das Windobene. Now, the Windobene has been around in Vienna for a long time. Some of the folks out there might know, in fact, that Windobene, or as it is alternatively pronounced, Vindobona, was the Latin name for Vienna. A little side fact. But Das Windobene was a very successful theater for a long time, and it was really attached to cabaret and comedy, and then it kind of got run into the ground. There was a scandal. It was empty for a long time, and now this totally crazy dude bought this place in February or March. No, he bought it in March and has turned it around, renovated it, put all kinds of new tech in there, threw a ton of money at it, and has opened it now by October. And last night, I hosted this evening where it was sort of a presentation of all of the different kind of acts that are going to be there. And there were huge names like Maya Hackfort. Now, the English-speaking folks out there might not know, but Maya Hackfort is an actress, a musical performer, a singer, a producer. She is Dutch and has had a huge career in the German-speaking world. She has played everything. She was best known for playing Elizabeth back in the day, which is, you know, the German-speaking world's biggest and most successful musical. But, you know, Anna Tevke and Evita, I saw her once way back in the day in a production of Blood Brothers, which blew me away. So she was there. And she brought all of her friends and like a whole bunch of Austrian stars. This woman, Sandra Pires, and this woman, Nazidi Eileen, who they did a three-part harmony version of Live or Let Die by the Beatles. It was amazing. Yeah, and then they had like some acrobats there, this duo called Duo Aquarius that did this beautiful stuff. And it was crazy, you know, TV, the whole thing, lots of celebrity stuff. But I just did my thing, you know. Tried to be nice and charming and keep the show moving along. That's what I did. And I think that was fine. But afterwards, everyone was really happy, and I'm quite happy for this dude. I think if it survives now, if something can happen there, then that guy will be able to survive anything. But we'll see. Germany's locking down. The death of indoor theater is still imminent. This is really weird for me talking and talking and talking at you guys, but thanks for being there. It's hard to see what exactly is going on. Now it says, error, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. What the hell is happening? Do you think this is this happening to anybody out there, Andrew? Is anything happening with the video, or is this just trying to get me to open a widget? Now it says it's poor. Why is it poor? Maybe it's fine. I don't know why. I know exactly why. I'm a complete moron. I forgot the most important bit. Okay, hold on a second. I know why. Silly rabbit. I've just gone behind the green screen. I don't know if you can hear me. But what I did last time was I got a really long cable so that I could put the computer on. Hello. So I can put the computer. Oh, hello. So I can put the computer on the LAN and not the VLAN, and check it out, people. Now, maybe, just maybe, it'll be better. I would never be able to do this if Michael were here. Of course, if Michael was here, he probably would have reminded me to do the thing. Yeah. It looks fine. Yeah, well, there I am. I just did the around the world thing. Oh, those are some angles. I'm looking at myself from 30 seconds ago. I suppose you guys are too. No. You're saying... Oh, I don't even want to do the math on that. In any case, when Sarah does get here, we will have, it should be about something also in 3 parts. But each of those parts I'm going to try to use to dig in a little bit and see how Sarah's doing and what's going on with her. Anything happened to you guys this week? What was the big thing that happened to you guys this week? Silica was at the festival that we were at. I hope that was a big thing that she saw. Burps. That's using your noodle, right? Should have used my noodle before. Why wasn't I using my noodle? I don't know. Gotta use the noodle. If you got the noodle, use the noodle, people. That's what this is all about. That's what it should be about. Use your noodle. Speaking of use your noodle, I found these napkins. I need to show you this napkin. Yes. This napkin, I hope you can see this. It says, enjoy good the things. Enjoy good the things. Enjoy good the things. I love it. It makes me laugh so much. I have to say it in the voice. Enjoy good the things. Oh, it's green, so you can't really read it. But it says, enjoy good the things. And I think it's very funny. It makes me laugh every time I see it. And yes. So I think my mom is on. Yes, she is. That's nice. Yeah, we were talking about the stuff. Yeah, Saturday was great with the three of you at the post highlight. That was so much fun. We did a show in real time. We got these costumes. We were told that we were brother and two sisters, and that we had inherited the post highlight, this huge thing. And we did a play just in real time with no jumps or anything. And it was really nice. It was really heartfelt. And Patty Vascano did some really amazing pictures that got put into the Mind Post. Yeah, it was a really nice show. Thanks for being there, Pavlov's dog. Andrew, early voting, easy peasy. Yeah, people on the vote. Sehr good. Very, very good. So that was the big thing there. What else is going on? Just the stuff. We got the thing done with the Vienna's English Theater with the English Lovers, and then they canceled the show because 100 kids had to pull out. It looks like Austria is probably going to go into lockdown. They're going to have to. They're going to have to do it now because they're going to want to be open for December. And I hate always having to talk about that. It's like, back in the early aughties in Austria, in the German-speaking world, you often got caught up in conversations about Handytarife. Like, what tariff do you have for your handy? What's your package? What package do you have? And then people would have these conversations. Well, I got 300 free minutes with 300 hours. And I just hated those conversations so much. So much. They just were the most boring conversations. And in some ways, the Corona thing, every time, it's getting that where it's like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. But it is constantly there. And so we have to deal with it and figure it out. Yeah. That's how that goes. It feels like when I'm looking at my thing here that the thing keeps freezing. I don't know. Maybe it's freezing. Maybe it's not. So, what else is happening? I can't remember anymore. I saw some really interesting stuff while I was doing this show last night, and I also got to see an old friend of mine, Nadia Malé, who over the last 20 years has built a huge career for herself as a cabaretistin, a comedian, and she was terrific. She did bits of some of her best of. She's going to be doing a best of at that theater, and I hadn't seen her in a long, long, long time, but she was really great. She was really very good. If I were more prepared to do this alone, I suppose I could probably do that. But I keep having the feeling that Sarah's going to walk in at any second. That said, I'm awfully glad that I don't do this alone, that I do this with Michael. Michael's great. We should get a check-in on to how his concert's doing. I'm not sure if he's started yet. Pandemic fatigue is real. Yeah, man, that's a good way of saying it. Pandemic fatigue. That being said, I also have been getting quite a lot of inspiration and from the Veranstalter, the producers, the people that keep trying, that keep standing up and saying, okay, let's try it again. All right, those are the new rules. All right, let's try it like this. All right, that doesn't work. Let's try it like this. And the fact that they have that wherewithal to keep going and to see the positives and to be so solution-oriented, I find that to be so inspiring. And I try to, keep cutting off a piece of that for myself. In any case, we're going to talk about 3 things tonight, he said, wondering what was going on. You know what? I'm going to play some music. Oh, I've got this set up. I think the music was playing beforehand. Let's see if it continues to play if I do it like this. Yeah, there's some music happening. What do you think? Got the music going, got the talking going. Try something else, don't give up. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Speaking of not giving up, I haven't given up on this setup and I'm kind of excited for it. I think it kind of worked out. I got a birthday coming up, November 4th. My mom keeps asking me what I want for my birthday. I've never been very good at asking for gifts or asking for what it is that I want. Probably says a lot about me and how my career turned out. But that being said, I'm starting a list. We were watching a show called Fixer Upper. Anybody out there ever seen Fixer Upper? I think it was probably like a really big hit in America a few years ago. And somebody recommended it to us because, having people work on the TV in the background while you're doing something else is always kind of satisfying. It's like I love putting on those GIFs of people making recipes where everything's already in the bowl and they're just doing it. Because there's such a nice feeling of completion at the end of it. How about double X balloons? I promise not to disclose the number. Oh, Michelle was hooked on it for about 5 years. Oh yeah. So there you go. And so recently we've been watching these things. And I just like that feeling of completion. And this particular show, Fixer Upper, which you can see on YouTube, every episode is exactly the same. And after a while, you know exactly. I have the feeling, any kitchen, you just walk in, okay? Every single house has the same things. We're going to move this wall back. We're going to have to put up a beam here. We're going to try to raise the eye line. All new floors. Here in the kitchen, you got to straighten up the kitchen island. You got to have a kitchen island. All new backsplash. All new fixtures. All new appliances. We're going to have a fresh coat of paint. We're going to raise the count. Every time it's exactly the same. But there's something, I don't know, really comforting about it. But we'd seen so many or listened to so many. The other night, our friend Valerie, she had her birthday. And she came over and Anna had made her a chocolate cake. And a super yummy chocolate cake. And while we were waiting for Vince, we started doing an episode of it. And we just kind of, just did the whole episode really fast. It was really fun and really funny and really dumb. It's a fun show though. I can recommend it if you're into those sort of remodeling shows. Yeah, all those fix-up shows are kind of the same. There was one that I quite liked. They only had one season of it. It was called Stay Here or something like that. I think it's on Netflix. And it was sort of like, their thing was the Instagram moment. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited because Sarah has now entered the room. She's finished with her awesomeness and she's going to continue with her awesomeness. So I'm going to play some music for a second. I'm going to turn off my microphone and get her in here, and then we'll get to meet Sarah. Yay. Okay, see you guys in a second.
Interviews time.
So we're going to get Sarah's microphone on, and we got the music still going. I'm going to open up this bottle of Prosecco for Sarah. Can they see us right now? They can see us right now. We don't see ourselves. We see ourselves right now 30 seconds from the past.
This is so creepy, watching really myself weird. 30 seconds from the past.
Yeah, so you try not to do that.
This is like Back to the Future.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to Sarah Scharf. She is a wonderful young lady. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions while I open this.
All right, go ahead. Young lady.
First of all, Sarah Scharf, where were you born, where are you from, and where are you based?
I was born in Westlake, California, which is outside of LA, very close to what's known as the Valley for LA people.
The Valley.
The San Fernando Valley.
The San Fernando treat.
Yes.
Okay. No, it was San Francisco.
I know, and it's the rice-a-roni.
Yeah.
So I was born there. My family stayed there until I was 3, and then my father moved us to Boise, Idaho. He wanted to have like an idyllic, small town. Ooh, champagne. He wanted to have an idyllic, small town type of lifestyle for his children to grow up in a place, thank you very much, with a lot less smog and traffic. And
right.
So Boise, Idaho it was.
So you grew up in Boise, Idaho. Now see, I lived for a long time believing Idaho didn't exist.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. Cheers. The theory being that any state with that weird shape can't really exist. And I'd actually never met anybody from Idaho. But
Come on, there are a lot of states with very weird shapes.
I was a kid, and I was growing up in Maine. And most people didn't believe in Maine either.
Okay.
When I was 9 years old, I was in Texas visiting my uncle who lived just outside of Houston. And I was hanging out with some of the neighborhood kids. And the one asked me, "Hey, where are you from? You talk funny." And I said, I'm from Maine. And he said, oh yeah, that's up near Waco, isn't it? And I said, no, it's a state. It's an actual state, New England. He said, no, that's up near Waco. I've been up there. And he wanted to fight me for it.
Wow.
It was people don't
Clash
believe in
of
Maine.
ideas.
Yeah. Okay, so born in California.
Born in Southern California, grew up in Boise, Idaho.
Where are you based now?
I'm now based here in Vienna, Austria, where we are live recording at the moment.
That's right. There you are. I'm going to ask out there, West Coast, Best Coast, Best Coast, says Andrew. Same on each of the... Okay, Maine looks
Thanks,
like
Andrew.
The Arby's logo. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so obviously, can I get a confirmation that Sarah's mic is okay?
Can y'all hear me?
Can y'all hear me? You don't say y'all. Did you?
No.
Did you learn to say y'all? No.
I didn't really. I had a good friend whose mom was from Louisiana, so sometimes after a weekend at her house eating beignets, I would come home and say y'all.
Right. Now
that's kind of cultural appropriation.
Although, y'all is a really nice, it's a nice inclusive term. I like y'all.
Breaks the ice.
Now you live in Austria.
I don't know if they can actually hear me. Okay, they say yep. Thank you.
You live in Austria now, and
yes.
And you're now with us on It Should Be About Something. So I'm going to start you off real quick. Part 1, how's your normal? How's your normal? They all talk about the new normal. I just want to know, you've been living in Austria for how long?
Yeah, I've been living in Austria for 5.5 years.
5.5 years. And now
Yes.
it's 2020,
It's
the
2020.
year of Corona.
Let's hope the only year
How's
of
your normal?
Corona. I don't think that normal exists.
Mm-hmm.
I've always disliked the word normal because I think it really creates a hierarchy
Right,
that is not true.
right.
Most of the time, whenever I've heard the question, is this normal? I've thought, I mean, the range of human experience is so
Yeah.
vast. How can we even call things normal?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. This is such a bizarre time. My reality is now we wear face masks, as you do too. We are socially distant. I think this is the closest I've been to someone who's not my husband or my son in a long time without a mask.
Well, I suppose we'll know where it's all come from if anything happens.
I had a negative test not that recently, but yeah, we had to get tested. My son's kindergarten had to close. One of the teachers had coronavirus, and then all of the teachers got it, and then
Yeah.
some of the kids got it.
Yeah.
So I guess the new normal is I can't make plans. I've lost a lot of work. My husband has lost a lot of work. Things are postponed. We don't know when they're going to take place again. School could close at any point for my son if some kid in his class gets corona.
Yeah,
Anything could be canceled.
yeah.
It's just
It's wild.
It's just wild. It's
Yeah.
just like all of the uncertainty of every Buddhist text I've ever read, just all the time. But it's also hard to stay positive because there's so much destruction going on in the world right now.
Yeah. There really
Yeah.
is.
So I don't know. My normal is bizarre. Like, it's bizarre. It's apocalyptic. It's Orwellian. I feel like I'm living in, a dystopian novel. It's weird. It's really weird.
Well, here's to the hell in the handbasket in which we are all riding, I suppose.
Seems in a way, yeah.
Now, Sarah, we met a couple of years ago
Yes.
at the wonderful Lichau Festival, the Hin und Weg Festival in Lichau.
Hin und weg.
That's right.
Here and there. Here and away. Here and there. Coming and going. What does it mean?
Well, actually, it's interesting that you ask, because in fact, hin und weg as a phrase means I am blown away. I am hin und weg. I am here and gone with this. Oh, I am just.
Okay.
But
Bowled over.
if you go hin, you're going towards something, and then you are away. You are weg.
Oh, so you
And so
go
there's like
towards it to go away.
There's a lot of you. Yeah, you have to go. Man muss hingehen.
Okay, so my German is so poor that I completely mistranslated that.
Well,
I thought it was
does
like
have
here
many
and there.
levers. It does have
Going-
many layers. That's just not one of them.
Okay. And I love to fail. I have a master's degree in failure.
Yes, yes,
It's called physical theater.
That's right. That's right. So we met there, and Sarah was doing a workshop, and you are a master in physicalness. You're like a body work. How would you describe yourself? What's your card say?
What does my card say? Good question, because it's not how I would describe myself. But what my profession is described as on my card, it says, what does it say? It says yoga and movement teacher.
Yoga and movement teacher. So
Yeah.
I think I was describing you as a body work specialist.
Yeah, I think that body work generally implies massage
Okay, so I was way off
and
base there.
I don't know, like somehow manipulating other bodies
Right.
in different healing practices,
Right.
which I actually did at one point, so it's
Right.
not that far off. I did
Right.
work as a massage therapist
Okay.
for a few years.
That
I thought it
tracks.
would be a good job
Yeah.
in between acting gigs.
Sure.
So I did massage school when I was 19 in between theater training. I was like, I'm going to do massage school now
Oh God.
at 19.
Yeah.
I did that.
That'll be my fallback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Yeah. Physical theater doesn't work. I'm going to fall back on massage.
Yeah.
Wow.
My 19-year-old self.
Oh God. Okay. All right. So a yoga and body No, a yoga and movement specialist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Movement for theater, movement direction.
Right.
Physical coaching for actors.
Right.
Voice coaching for yoga teachers.
Right.
It's kind of
That's really kind of
crossing
become
here
your
and
niche,
there.
right?
Yeah.
Is where yoga and performance kind of meet.
Yes, what I realized was that I had all of these skills from my time as a performer
Right.
that made me a better yoga teacher. It was easy for me to teach, to get up in front of people, look in the camera, look in people's faces,
Did you start doing
say
yoga?
what I needed to say.
How did you start doing yoga?
Started doing yoga because I went with one of my dancer friends during what we call college, what the Europeans call university or uni.
Right.
So when I was,
We call it.
we call it college, don't
You
we?
go to college. Yeah. You don't. Well, you.
'Cause if you say
Johnny's gone
college-
to university.
Maybe, but if you say college in France, it refers
Right.
to high school.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it gets confusing sometimes.
In any case.
So I went to that institutional time period
Right.
from 18 to 22 or whatever it was.
Right.
And I was
Institutional time period.
I was studying theater, I was dancing, and one of my dancer friends said, "Hey, let's go do this yoga class." And it was the first time that I really entered a meditative state, and I felt my body, and I was able to move in a way that was not about performing something for someone else. It was about how I felt.
Physical before? Had you been like? Were you a dancer before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
So-
a
so it was
dancer
like-
from
like
a little
yoga-
girl. I was
right.
always putting on shows
And you had never done
making
yoga
up
before that?
dances. I mean, I think I did a class when I was 17.
Right.
We're talking about Boise, Idaho, in 1997,
Doesn't exist.
in the YMCA, in like a basement room, mix of
right.
chlorine smells and a lot of older people.
Right,
So
right.
that was not my scene, and I was like, what is going on here? So the first time I tried it and really enjoyed it was when I was 19, and I felt liberated from the critical element that most of my teachers brought to the dance training I had experienced previous to this yoga class.
Right.
You know, always trying to nail the technique, look a certain way, perform a certain way, be in this other time rhythm perhaps than what felt right to me. I loved dancing, but there was so much, as I got older and things became more competitive, there was so much that was about conforming to
Right, because you have these expectations that you have
Right.
to fulfill. Yeah.
which you need for any technique. You need to have
Absolutely.
standards. But then I did this yoga class and I was like, oh my God, I just feel good, and I'm not judging myself, and I'm not being judged, and I'm not staring at myself in a mirror and thinking I'm too fat, my leg isn't high enough, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
All of that, what we
Right.
call in yoga,
Right.
the chitta vritti, the turning of the mind, that went away, and that was amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
And was it like a night and day thing?
No.
Done dancing into yoga?
No, not
Done.
at all.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like, this is amazing. I'm going to keep doing this, and still dancing, and still doing, I was doing a BFA conservatory acting program.
Right.
I was still doing all the other stuff too.
Right.
Yeah.
And then through your own doing yoga, you just kind of got better and better and then decided, I want to teach this? Or?
I don't know if I got better and better. It just started to take over my life. I realized that I wanted to spend more time doing that. It was helping me to feel better than the other things that I was doing. So it started to take over. I started to prioritize certain yoga classes over anything else.
Right.
It became the focal point of my life gradually.
Right.
And then I went on a trip to Costa Rica. I had this experience in the jungles with the waterfalls and the river, and I was just like, oh, I'm going to become a yoga teacher. It was like I was taken over by this.
Was there ayahuasca involved?
No, there was not.
Okay.
I think there was marijuana involved at one point. But really, there were also a lot of mosquito bites. I think I had some kind of feverish. Seriously, I was like covered in mosquito bites. But I was just convinced. I had a realization. It felt like that's what I should be doing.
What keeps people from doing yoga? I want to ask everybody, is there anybody out there who has never tried yoga?
Oh,
And
yeah.
if that's true, what has
Make a
kept
comment.
you?
Make a comment.
What has kept you from?
Yeah. If you've
Trying
wanted
yoga.
to. Because some people just don't want to, and that's fine.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like, yeah. I don't ever need to try heroin.
Good for you.
You know. I mean, that's not something I ever need to do.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that either.
You know.
Yeah.
And I've never tried it. I'm basing that assumption on a lot of other things, but not my
Right.
own personal experience.
Right.
Unlike coconut, for example,
Right.
which I don't like to eat at all.
But you've tried it.
I've tried it, and then that's how I realized that's not my thing.
Not your nut.
No, coconut is what I'm talking about.
I love coconut, so.
Yeah, well, you can have all of it, and it's actually for me, coconut is I'm kind of pissed off about it.
Really?
Yeah, because coconuts are inherently funny. They're a really cool thing. I mean, they're just as an object, they're cool.
Because
I
they're
like that-
hairy.
Well, they're hairy. You can make a bikini out of them.
Right.
You can. There's milk. There's meat. You can clop them together. You could make like Gilligan's Island showed me
Many types of
many
coconut
types
usages.
of coconut usages, all of which have been not in my life because
Wait.
I just don't like coconut.
Wait, someone is saying
Pavlov's dog. What's Pavlov's dog?
Pavlov's dog.
Okay,
A
so
fitness app, never.
all right. So Andrew first says he has never done it and it's too hot. He says.
It's too hot.
I wonder if he's
Like
confusing
he
yoga
would, like
with.
he would be too hot if he did yoga. Like, oh, I'm so hot, man.
She's not wrong.
I think there's a misconception because there is a style of yoga, just one style, like a drop in the vast ocean of types of yoga,
Right.
that was perpetuated by a man whose name I shall not repeat.
Yeah, screw that guy.
Because, yes, watch the documentary if you have any questions about that. But he started a style of yoga that he turned into a franchise, which became extremely popular, especially in the United States. And so a lot of people associate all yoga now with yoga
That's done
being
in
something that's
stupidly hot
done
rooms.
in a really hot room like a sauna.
Yeah.
And that's not what I'm into. So,
That's not yoga. All right, we'll find another excuse for you, Andrew.
yeah,
so
Andrew,
then,
find another excuse.
Donna
It's
says
not hot.
she's uncoordinated.
Uncoordinated.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to be coordinated, Donna. You don't need to be coordinated to do yoga. First of all, there's all kinds of yoga. It doesn't only mean that you're doing physical postures. There's yoga of devotion. There's karma yoga, yoga of action, how the things that you do affect your life and the lives of everyone around
What
you.
does yoga mean?
Yoga means union.
Nice.
Yeah.
Union.
And some people
When I
say
was
it's
a
like
kid, I
sun
wanted
and
to
moon
sorry.
coming together. Sorry.
Sun and moon coming together. When I was a kid, I wanted to have a band called Union.
Okay.
It was going to be a live rock dance band that was like doing live techno music. So guitar-based techno music.
Guitar-based techno
Yeah.
music. And what kind of dance?
Well, it would be like sort of like drone, like techno, like it was like 90s.
Like glow lights? Like
No, like drone sort of pads and drums, you know, four on the floor kind of a thing to trance into dancing, like a lot of what techno would do.
So in
But
terms
doing
of the
it live.
dance style, people just kind of bouncing up and down.
Or you can dance. You can dance how you.
You could dance how you want to.
You can leave your friends behind. Yeah, and uncoordinated. I think also that's what, because I think that stops so many people from so many things. You know, it's like you want to try and do something and you don't do it because you feel like you already should be able to do it before you even try to do it.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the reasons that the yoga industry is really failing to give any kind of depth to the image of yoga. It has become so co-opted by the marketing industry that people are using yoga to sell toothpaste. And they're using it to sell toothpaste by showing generally a white, thin woman doing something that looks like you need
strenuous.
coordination for.
Yeah.
It doesn't look strenuous.
No,
it just
because she
looks
makes
like
it look light. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I saw down the street here in Vienna, there's an ad for, I think, insurance, and it's a lady. I mean, she could be a yoga. She could be a contortionist in Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
And at this point, there's no difference
Right.
when you scroll through Instagram between contortionism and the representation of yoga. So there's this huge misconception that people need to already be coordinated or already be flexible or already be fit. And yoga has deeply, I think, nothing to do with any of that.
Right.
It's about realizing that there's a connection between all living things. It has to do with philosophy, has to do with spirituality, it has to do with a way of being present in the world, being
Right.
honest. There are so many things that yoga is that has nothing to do with your tights.
Sure. It's because and yoga becomes like a
It's a trend. It's trendy now. It's
and
trendy.
It becomes a symbol
Totally.
for balance. It becomes a symbol for serenity, for
natural things.
for what's the thing that everyone is into nowadays? The being here stuff, the presence.
Mindfulness.
Mindfulness. Oh, thank
Which
you.
I love, but
Yes,
yes,
of course.
it's a catchphrase now. It's
But
a catchphrase now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And so that becomes that symbol, and that's why it gets used in advertising.
Yeah, like if you use this toothpaste or if you use this health insurance, then you're going to have a balanced life.
You're part of that balancedness, and that being coordinated thing of not wanting to do it. It's like when like a workout place advertises with people who are super fit,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
yes, it's inspirational. Yes, that is what I want to work toward, but at the same time, do I have to already look like that to belong to that?
Well, I think this is really interesting.
Yes,
What
please.
is the point at which something is inspirational and then it shifts over into alienation, into hierarchical, into repression?
Right.
Like, at what point does someone think, I could never go to a yoga class because all they see are skinny, rich people
Right.
in
All they see are people who don't
eco-friendly,
look like them.
recyclable fabrics or whatever? It's just
Right.
like, it's just like any other thing in the world that people look and it's like, oh, well, if that person doesn't look like me in the advertisement, then I could never do it. Or if I haven't seen people of color, women of color, holding roles in government, then I don't think I can run for government if
Right.
that's what I look like and that's my background.
Right.
So I think we're at a point in the world where I hope one of the positive outcomes of our connectivity through the internet and technology is that we can overcome these things rather than letting them subjugate us. So
Boom.
that's just what I think about it.
Yeah, get right up in it, people. Sarah Scharf, dropping the mic.
Dropping the mic.
Oops, whoops. Into my prosecco. Wait a sec. Speaking of prosecco, I agree with all of this stuff, and I find it really fascinating that you speak so intelligently about this, and so
Let's
clearly,
see. After
and that's really nice.
that's one glass of prosecco. After
Yeah.
two, I might be slurring my words
Let's,
because I don't drink very often because I'm usually doing too much yoga to drink.
She's too balanced to be unbalanced.
No, because I have to wake up in the morning and take care of my child and
That's
everything.
true. Yeah,
I have a 5-year-old. I'm a mama.
Crazy.
I'm a mom.
So I just wanted to see here also what Pavlov's dog said. Until recently, with a fitness app, never, and I am still not phased about. I think I understand what that means. Do you understand what that
I
means?
think it means that Pavlov's dog did some yoga recently with a fitness app for the first time and was not phased after the experience.
Well, there you go.
Well, I have to say, not all apps are created equal.
This is true.
And also, I never would recommend, if there's any chance that you can work with a real person, even
a
if
real
it's on
space.
Zoom, even if it's on Zoom.
Okay, cool.
Because on Zoom, when I'm teaching yoga, for instance,
Yes.
if you're on Zoom in another country or wherever you are, I can see you and I can say, Jim, roll your the fronts of your shoulders back towards the chair. Towards
I
the
would
chair.
really love
I'm
to
already
do that.
swilling. See? And then something happens, and most apps are never going to do that for you,
No way.
right? They're
No
just
way.
they don't
Look at
see
how much
you.
better I look, people.
Yeah, I look great. Actually, Jim,
Yeah.
yoga's making you too hot. Better stop.
I think there is something to that about
think
being in the room or being with somebody who can interact with you. And I wonder sometimes also, like with the whole apps thing,
Right?
that, I mean, maybe it's a generational thing, but for example, my world of improv, or theater, I got into theater, a lot of it was because of the atmosphere. There was a
Right.
sexiness to the theater, to walk in and have that smell, and the costume smelling a certain way, and the grease paint, and
Funny, it was all
the burning
dank,
of
but
the
it was
lights.
sexy.
But it was sexy because
Dank
there was
sexy.
possibilities there.
Yeah,
you
there was
know?
creative
There was a
energy.
room full of energy, exactly. And nowadays, like, I don't know if I would be turned on to something like this because, I mean, as sexy as this room is, and let's admit it, people, this is a pretty sexy room.
If
What do
only
think,
you
Sarah?
guys could see the whole place.
Oh man, so sexy.
Yeah, so sexy.
But I don't know if this is really I don't think this would turn me on to be alone, speaking into a void.
Yeah. I
And
don't,
with this delay of trying to hang on to these guys and keep the thread going.
but this isn't the same. This is like a kind of like a live talk show. This isn't exactly an improv show. This isn't. We're not trying to
I
make
know.
a piece.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
What I mean is the atmosphere, because whether you are learning, if you're learning
Yeah.
improvisation or theater in real life, in that sexy atmosphere, that's one of the reasons that I went to do it. And
Yeah.
like, if I was starting and what I had offered to me was just online,
Yeah.
or just an app.
I don't know. I have no idea what app Pavlov's dog is using, so I cannot speak to that at all. And I do think that teaching on Zoom, for instance, is a different skill to teaching in person. And maybe the skills you use teaching in person, you can translate or transpose into teaching well using technology. And those skills, interactive teaching, is different than teaching to the void or recording. Just like in acting, like here, so spoiler alert, this is a green screen and it looks blue to you guys, but this is a green screen. So if you had to act with nothing but a green screen, it would be a different experience for you as an actor.
absolutely.
Right? So it's all like that. Like we can transpose what we're doing in different ways.
Agreed.
And it just takes time to figure it
Agreed.
out. And there's some great teachers
Yes.
of anything, and
Yes.
there's some shitty ones.
Yes.
Right? Whether you're in the room or on a interactive technology session,
Yes.
there can be somebody doing something really well, and also there can be somebody that speaks to you, that sparks interest in
Yes.
you, or there can just be it falls flat and it's dead. So anything's possible. But I think I hear what you're saying. Like maybe you wouldn't have gotten involved in improv if the way you were introduced to it was through a screen,
Right.
versus you're smelling the smells and you're feeling the texture of the uneven concrete of the rehearsal room, and
Yeah,
you know,
because
and that's
I grew up on the hard streets.
Yeah.
That's where I did
no,
my
I
early
remember
rehearsals.
the theater in my high school
Had
was
concrete
like
floors?
it had the steps down. It was this beautiful old theater, but it had these horrible concrete steps that were painted with this gray paint. And my dance school used to do recitals there from when I was small, so I knew that theater long before I was
Right.
in high school and like
Okay.
doing plays there. And I used to do a lot of tap dancing, and having to go onto the stage and off the stage, my tap shoes were always slipping on that concrete
Right.
paint, and it was like it's
Got a
very
friend of mine
dangerous.
Recently, she was like, a director asked her if she tap dances. She said, "Yeah, I did that in school. I can tap a little bit." And I said, "Great. Could you improvise a tap dance
Yeah.
in this thing?" She was like, "Nope, nope, that's never gonna happen."
I have a funny tap dancing story.
Oh, hit me.
That's all about, once again, me making a fool of myself, which I think is like at the heart of improv, and was definitely at the heart of a lot of my lessons in physical theater training. So I lived in London. That's where I did my physical theater training and got my master's degree in London.
In your master's degree
in London. And there's a place there called Ronnie Scott's Jazz Bar.
Oh, I know Ronnie Scott's
Right?
Jazz Bar.
It's very famous.
It's very cool.
And
I've
once
been to Ronnie Scott's.
you have?
Oh yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Pre-corona times.
In pre-corona times.
They have a thing, I think it's once a month, where they do a tap jam.
Right.
And
right.
somebody told me about this,
Right.
and I thought, I did tap dance from the age of 5 to 17, 18.
You got chops.
I got some chops.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
You can
go.
string
Let's
some-
go.
you can string
Let's
some
do it.
moves together. You
Let's
can-
do it.
yeah.
It's like, it's like
Yeah.
standing up cold. And
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about a 10, almost 15-year gap between when I had really done tap dance to when I decided to go to Ronnie Scott's
Oh dang.
and sign up
Oh dang. I mean,
to
and
get on stage.
For those of you who don't know Ronnie Scott's, I mean, it is like, it's a super famous place because they get the best
Yeah.
musicians there. Magicians. There are some magicians. There's some magic people. in
My
that-
husband's a
in that.
magician.
Yeah. he
An
is.
illusionist. I'm not
He's an
supposed to use the
illusionist.
M word.
Don't use the
He's
M
not-
word.
sorry.
He's an illusionist.
Sorry, honey.
Illusionist.
If you're watching, which you're probably not, you're probably already asleep.
Yeah, but Ronnie Scott's is just like
Yeah.
top, high level, right? And
Like
so
it's as high as you can get in the jazz world or in the tap dance world.
So there are dudes in there.
So I just show up.
And you show up with your
With my stanky
shoes.
with some
10-year-old
crappy
stanky
shoes, and I haven't done any tap dancing in like 15 years, and I'm
you're
like, I got this. And I come in, I haven't watched any routines, and I come in, I put my name on the list, and I go to the bar and I get a drink, and I've got some friends with me, and then we sit down, and then it begins, and other people are performing, and I'm just like,
Holy shit.
done.
I went back, scratched my name off the list, took my
No,
friends.
I did it.
You did it?
I did it.
Oh, wow. Sweetness. I love it. And?
I danced at Ronnie Scott's.
Yeah.
And there were some moments where I was just like, I'm going to just do the hand thing again and double time step.
I got nothing.
Triple time step.
I got
That's
nothing.
all I got.
I
Yeah.
love it. I think that's hilarious. Oh man, I've been in those positions. God damn it, Dunning-Kruger effect. The Dunning-Kruger effect,
What's that?
which is the folks who actually have the littlest knowledge about a subject will often feel like they are the most expert at things.
Yeah.
And it's a graph of like beginners that they're between confidence and knowledge and ability. You go like way up here, and then it kind of goes down until you get to your expert range, but it never goes up as high as when you were like, I know what I'm doing.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. In any case,
Beginner's
Dunning-Kruger.
luck and confidence. Should we check in with
Yeah,
these
I
people?
want to check in here again. Because, see, and now we're going all the way back. I don't enjoy heat, says Andrew. And yes, hot yoga was all you could find when I had a mere inkling of looking into it, but haven't bothered since. Anything warmer than 18 degrees is too warm in general.
Okay, well, good luck, Andrew, because, global warming.
Well, but you were saying that there are so many different kinds. I'm sure there
Yeah.
must be like cold
There are
yoga.
so many.
Can you imagine? Okay,
Actually,
I called
it's not
it.
really called yoga.
I called
but
it.
there is this really interesting teacher from the Netherlands, I believe, and his name is Wim Hof. Have you heard of this? W-I-M,
I have.
second name H-O-F.
Yeah,
Wim Hof.
with
And
the
he's
cold
like,
showers
yes,
and the whole
with cold
thing and the
showers and
breathing
jumping
and
in
the
the
stuff.
ice,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
doing like
That guy.
a lot of stuff that is really from yoga in the cold. So Andrew, maybe you want to check out the Wim Hof method, or check out things like yin yoga,
Anna has
restorative yoga.
Pardon me, Anna has been doing that Wim Hof thing of doing the breathing
My
and doing the
husband is
cold,
doing the cold shower thing too.
And we often will shower together, and then I see that she's ready, and I'm always like, okay, I'm done, I'm getting up.
Yeah.
Because then she does this whole thing, and over my
Yeah.
time in my life, I've done the cold shower thing. It's
Yeah.
fine, but it's never anything that's really, she's like, I feel like I've got like a suit of armor on
Yeah.
afterwards. I'm like,
Yeah.
king of the world.
Yeah, some people
very
really
sweet.
love that cold, that shock to the
But,
system.
okay, so like you've got that hot yoga bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's send Andrew to like a cold storage locker in a restaurant, and You know, because you've got yoga with goats on top of you. You've
Yeah,
got yoga
I mean that's the
with,
thing. You can call anything yoga these
Yeah.
days, and if you look cute enough on Instagram, then you'll be an expert at it.
Okay, Andrew, you've got to find a way to make cold storage.
Meat locker
maybe at
yoga.
the brewery. So Andrew is a buddy of mine, and he's done some brewing and stuff. He's a very interesting dude.
Okay.
He'd be the guy that I would love to have as a guest, but he lives in Seattle. But he's an awesome dude. But I think maybe at the brewery, you guys have got some cold rooms. Just do a couple Instagram shots of you doing yoga in the cold with some like really cute yoga teacher who's like with the Starbucks. You know?
Oh no.
Oh God. Okay. And now downward dog. Oh God. She's super cold, and Andrew's like, "Yeah, man, this is fine."
Yeah.
No,
All right.
no, I'm in
What do you
my
think,
element.
Andrew? Meat locker yoga. Yeah, he's
Meat
into
locker
it.
yoga, into it. Love it.
Polar bear challenges.
Yeah. Pavlov's dog was then saying, honestly, I learned to
Yeah,
hate Zoom
real
during the first
instructor.
lockdown, but I understand it's always better with a real instructor.
I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully, unless that instructor is horrible.
Fitify must be, that's the name of the app that she was using. It was
Oh, okay.
Fitify.
Fitify.
Well, I didn't have a computer. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Turn
I don't
on to
know.
the polar bear challenges. Yeah. The polar bear challenges, God. I don't want to have to deal with that. I'm not going to tell her about polar bear challenges because then I would have to go down to the Alta Donau and watch her jump into cold water.
I'm so not into that.
Yeah, life is too short for that bullshit.
Not tonight. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
So I think that's a really nice spot for us to take a quick break.
Let's take a
I'm going
break,
to play some
darlings.
music, and
We'll rock
we'll
out.
wet our whistle.
So during the break, they're still watching us, and we're just chilling.
Yeah, there's not much of a difference between the break. I might run away and get another drink.
Okay, I might tag myself on my phone
Tag yourself?
for the last interview that I just did.
Oh.
How lame.
And in fact, normally we would try to start to be over around an hour later, but we're going to go definitely into overtime, ladies and gentlemen. We're definitely going into overtime here.
You're gonna get your money's worth.
Oh, man. Yeah.
This free
Because you
event.
get what you pay for in this free event. Because I want to ask you about my second and third parts, and I want to talk about the book, and so I think you got some time.
Yeah, let me just click.
All right, do your thing.
Click
I'm gonna
through.
go get another drink, and I'll be right
Okay.
back.
Perfect.
Oh, by the way, your microphone is still on, so you can still talk to everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to you guys while Jim's not here. It requires no action on your part. Meat locker yoga.
What the hell is he talking about?
I don't know. Is that like you hang from the hooks?
No, I think the "it requires no action on your part" is separate from the other part.
Maybe. Andrew, can you clarify your last comment? Because what is that about? All right. Let's see.
So you've just been quietly being watched by people
Yeah.
as you work on your phone.
I don't know why.
The music's
I'm
over.
so
Usually-
comfortable with this.
Yeah. So I'm going to put my microphone back on. Maybe they can
Okay.
hear me on the side. I've got this in my hand. I've got two things I need to ask you about
Okay,
that
I'm ready.
are just so super important that you're not even going to believe how important these
Okay.
questions are.
Try me.
Okay. Just hold on a second. So we're back. I'm back.
Hello.
In
Yes.
any case, and I need to ask you. So I was telling everybody about my new favorite napkin. It's called "Enjoy Good the Things," and every time I see it, it makes me
Looks
laugh.
like Borat's napkin.
But okay, I always have to kind of put on that New York Jewish, slightly Yiddish accent that actually doesn't really exist anymore,
No,
or
it
it's
doesn't.
kind of dying out.
It's pretty much.
pretty much gone, right? Nobody actually talks like that
My
anymore.
grandparents did, and now
bet
they're
they did.
dead. They're dead now.
Yeah. And I think that's really interesting. But I love the cadence of that accent. And it's a cadence that is, it's such a, there's so many things. Have you ever seen the website Old Jews Telling Jokes?
Yes. So funny.
Love it.
So
And
funny.
It's very funny. And so every time I read this, I have to say, enjoy good the things.
Yeah.
It feels like a Yiddish blessing.
It is. Do you know why it is that way?
No, tell me.
Because the syntax from Yiddish
Right.
is very similar to the syntax
Of German.
of German.
Yeah.
And so there's this mixing up of what part of the sentence comes first.
Right. Like the
And-
Pennsylvania Dutch would do sometimes.
Yeah, I remember my grandparents saying things all the time in a slightly skewed syntax. My mother also does it
Yeah. I bet.
because she grew up with people whose first language was Yiddish, even though they didn't teach her Yiddish. That was the way that everybody spoke in the family. And then I found myself doing it sometimes, very rarely. And now that my son is bilingual, and at the moment he's leaning more towards German, living here in
right.
Austria, my son going to a German-speaking kindergarten, or preschool, as we would call it, back home.
College, university, kindergarten, preschool.
Yes, we're going to make a little dictionary for you to understand us.
Yes.
But basically, he says things like that all the time.
Enjoy good the things.
He
Everyone,
says things like that, and
I
he's
love
tiny,
you all.
and it's so funny. Like, imagine a
Mazel
5-year-old
tov.
saying
Enjoy
it.
good the things.
Yeah.
Enjoy good the things. It just
Yes.
feels like I should be at a wedding
Yeah,
and just be saying,
or a bar mitzvah.
yeah, to everyone, especially you, Yoshi, listen. Enjoy good the things, everyone.
I think this is a character that's dying to come out.
Well, I do have a character. Actually, I do have a character. His name is Saul Leibowitz.
Okay.
And he always tells stories about his best. Saul is a jazz musician.
Okay.
And from like the 50s and 60s.
Okay.
And he always talks about his buddy Mushi Gushman.
Mushi Gushman?
Yes.
You know what mushi means in German?
I do know what Mushi means, but I also have
Add
a
that
very
to
good
the
friend of mine
dictionary.
who is from Tel Aviv. He's actually a very successful Israeli actor on TV and stuff, and his name is
Mushi.
Mushi.
Yeah.
And Mushi Gushman was a man among men. He was a jazz tuba player. When Mushi would play, grown men would cry.
They would weep.
He had such a light touch. and so Saul Leibowitz, Saul Lieberman would always tell these stories about Mushi Gushman. No, it is Saul Leibowitz. Yeah, it was Leibowitz. In any case,
funny.
I would only do this
Wait, don't
character.
put it away.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting there. So I would only do this character for friends of mine. And Anna hates this character.
Oh, no.
But my friend Valerie loves it, so I do it all the time. Enjoy good the things. Now, the other thing, which I have already showed everybody, but I'm going to show them now with you in the room, is Sarah's new book. This is your first book.
This is my first book.
This is your first book.
But
and
saying first book implies that there will be another.
now, do you have a website?
I do.
I bet someone, maybe like Andrew, might Google Sarah Scharf, like hot and spicy in German.
Yeah.
And maybe we can get a link for Sarah's book onto our chat for everybody.
Chat it
If
out.
that's a possibility. Now, your book,
Yes.
the fact that you've written a book brings me to, in fact, my second part that I wanted to do for It Should Be About Something. And
It should be about something.
It should be about something.
Which also sounds nice with the Yiddish accent. It should be about something.
It should be about something.
Yeah.
I have one favorite Jewish joke. It's
Okay.
in German.
Uh-oh.
It's in German.
That's dicey.
But it's all about that delivery, because the punchline is, it's basically this older fella. He goes to the Rebbe because he's got this very young wife, and the wife is now pregnant,
Okay.
but he's worried, and he doesn't know if
Everything's
the
working.
if the kid is his or not. He's worried.
Okay.
And the rabbi says, "Okay, go home, Just wait. I'm going to take a week. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to look in them. Tell him, come back in a week and I'll talk to you. He comes back in the week and he says, I'm at the end of my rope, Rebbe. I need you to tell me what's going on.
He thinks his wife is cheating on him.
Well, he's not sure because he's an older fella and his wife is young and she's pregnant and he just doesn't know. He's just worried.
So they didn't shtup enough for her to be pregnant.
Well, he's
from
just
him.
worried about it.
Okay.
But I love the word shtup.
I had to throw it in. I had to put it in.
Yeah, you did. And in any case, then the punchline is that the Rebbe says, Moishele, listen, I studied, I meditated, and I can tell you this. If, and it's in German though,
Okay.
so I have to say in German, wenn das Kind von dir ist, ist es ein Wunder.
Uh-huh.
Und wenn das Kind nicht von dir ist es ein Wunder?
I get it.
If this child is from you, it's a miracle. And if this child is not from you,
you wonder.
Is it a wonder?
You wonder.
Why are you wondering? Yeah, it only works in German, and it's really funny. Okay, in any case, I'm not sure what brought that all on, but your book, Sarah Scharf, is
I
going
wrote a book.
He's on it. I love it.
Thank you, Andrew. Andrew's like...
it requires no action on your part. Oh, he was talking about Anna and the polar bear challenge. I was like, it does, because if she starts jumping into the lake, then I'm going to have to go down there to support her. Dude, help me out.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
You'll have to start going to the
like
down
the
out at like
events.
7
And I'll be like the
morning.
guy like at the coffee station who doesn't even like coffee,
Right.
watching all the people
Do you not
jumping.
like coffee? That's right, you
hate
don't like coffee. I remember.
Never into it. Okay, so it should be about something. Part 2.
Part 2.
My theme for part 2, my question, I wanted to talk about starting projects.
Yes.
Now, you have a huge project that you started and now are on the other end of.
Kind of.
You have kind of started projects all your life.
Yeah.
This is a huge one. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that. What was it like getting off your butt to do this?
It was really hard. This project, other than pushing my child out of my body, is probably the hardest thing I've ever done.
While Sarah laughs about the pressures of her vajayjay, I need you all to please type into what's the hardest part about starting a project?
Yeah.
Where do you fall down? What's the hardest part?
I think that for me, starting projects is not what is actually hard. It's really step 2.
Hit me. Tell me about it.
Ideas come to me all the time.
Right.
I'm an idea lady, but following through and actually getting things finished has always been hard for me. I am a classic procrastinator.
Right.
I don't get things done unless the deadline is in my face. Since I was a little girl, I've been this way. I remember in 2nd grade scrambling to make projects the day before they were due. Like, this is just part of my personality. I need the outside pressure.
Right.
So this book project was particularly hard because it involved me working by myself and sticking to a deadline.
Right.
And I work best either with deadlines that are right in my face and not like a year and a half away.
Right.
Or I work better if I have other people to work with. I'm an extrovert by nature.
Right.
And sitting by myself at my computer and just...
Is death.
I hated
Oh
it.
man, I'm so
That's
in your
why I
camp.
said you say first book, implying there will be a second. I don't know if I have a second book in me. Not that I don't have 29 million ideas,
Right.
but I don't know if I can sit by myself on my computer and actually bang it out.
Well, it's a beautiful book. It is a beautiful book.
Thank you. And I
it
had a
is
lot of help. Like,
Gorgeously made.
my photographer, my friend who's an artist that did the drawings, the
And it's
the
a
people at the
workbook.
publishing company
It's a
who did the
workbook too,
layout.
right?
Yes, it's a
It's
workbook.
not just you talking about like, this is my idea. It's like,
well,
you can
is anything one person's idea? I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like, this is all kinds of stuff that you can do too.
Yeah, and I think that this book, it says it's for yoga teachers, and I really think it's for everybody who wants to look at the way that they speak and identify with their own voice or their own creative process, whether you're actually an artist or
Right.
whether you want to do things for a hobby because maybe you're stuck inside and you need to start expressing yourself more, whatever it might be. There's stuff in here that is going to be juicy.
I love it. I've taken off my microphone because I
see
realized
that.
I want to try to set.
Ah, things are breaking.
And I've almost broken the glass.
Nope, not broken. Everyone's
Not broken.
fine.
Everyone's fine.
No one was injured.
I think I did something wrong again.
Okay.
That's right.
Are you checking wires and such?
Yeah, because I realized I thought that was. It should be better.
Yeah, exactly. Pavlov's dog. I agree. Starting is always easier than finishing.
Right.
Finishing is really, really, really hard. And I had to ask for an extension for my book because I couldn't meet the deadline. I needed an extension, and that was really hard to do. And now that I've written it and it's actually in physical form and it's here, then it's not in any way over, because now my new work is like to share it out and to do things like this and do interviews and blogs, get people to review it, do podcasts, blah, blah, blah. Now I have a new job being my own publicist, which is something that is another job I'm not really qualified to do.
Right?
But I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Just like you are doing all the tech. I kind of wish that you guys could see the setup that Jim has. It's amazing. The lights, the green screen, the sound, board, the tech is really incredible. What it takes to do this casual chat is amazing. It's not
stupid.
just like
It's
an
overkill
iPad.
and stupid.
It's not overkill and stupid. It looks really cool.
I think
and
you're very sweet.
I think you're doing a good job.
Well, cheers to you. I would like to know, though, maybe Andrew or Don or somebody can tell me, has the picture been freezing constantly?
Uh-oh.
Or is that just weirdness? Stop freezing. Oh, my God.
Are we doing that game?
Has the picture been freezing? I don't know. But it only freezes when you're like in a really stupid face. Like all your faces are too nice. You know, so you gotta be like,
You have to look really bad, huh?
how's that?
Like when the one eye is down. Oh, God. Bell's palsy face.
I always wondered, like, if people who have been in television series.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I think it would be a terrible road to go down. Like, if you've been like in 7 seasons of a TV show, like, do you ever go back to season 4 and watch an episode and then freeze it in one of those positions where you're like,
Yeah.
and worry about it?
When you need to pause anything.
When you need to pause,
And you
it's like,
pause and the person's face on screen is so...
like when they're moving,
So-
they're beautiful, but whenever it's paused, it's... and then I wonder, like,
Ugly pause face.
I've got ugly pause face.
I'm sorry. When I'm moving, I'm beautiful.
But it's just when I'm paused.
It's just if I'm
you
still,
take a
it's horrific.
Yeah, it's just terrible. My sister, she has resting bitch face.
I'm always moving. Every
She has
time you
rich-
see me, I'm going to be moving.
I'm a beauty shark. I never stop. I have to keep going forward.
Beauty shark. Oh, funny.
So I wonder, like if people do that. I'm sure they don't, but the way I do that with memories of terrible moments in my life that I have to
Okay.
relive over and over and over again.
Why
before
are
I
you
go to
reliving
sleep.
them?
Oh, because of self-torture, probably.
Okay, I was going to say, does it have something to do with torture?
Well, no, but it's just like, you know, like those thoughts.
get in
that
a
will,
loop.
Those thoughts that will come back or you know, or you know, I'm pretty good about the past being the past, but then there are some moments where you just like have to replay that over again and see, oh yeah, that's how I did that.
Well, there's
stupid
just some
line.
stuff that it takes a really long time
To process, right?
to process, because we have to feel the feelings. We have to move through the tunnel
Yeah.
and actually do that at whatever speed or rate our emotional self is able to handle. And that's not something that usually fits in with our intellectual idea of what is the right timeline.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Such is human life,
Such is human life.
right?
You know, I wonder if it's because of my work as an improvising actor, that I'm actually pretty good at letting go of the past.
Because you
not worrying
have
about
that
the future
muscle to move on, move on, move on.
But not only that, but it's the muscle about trying to stay in the present, of understanding that I can't deal with that right now.
Right.
Like it's not even close to being here yet. The future, and then realizing, okay, I can't change any of that shit.
Which is
as much as I would like to.
brilliant.
It's
But that's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's what yoga is about, like getting to that present state.
I'm sure there's all those overlaps
I think
all the time.
I think so.
Now, Holding Space is the book. Which is the chapter that you're most proud of?
Gosh, I've not thought about my chapters like little children that I must choose my favorite of.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that. Or is there an exercise that you're like, I love this exercise. This is the one that kills for me. Or
There's so
is
many.
there a picture that you're like, that's the one of the dude with the thing under his, with the towel under his head?
Blanket.
Like, the blanket?
Blanket.
It's a yoga blanket?
Yes, a yoga blanket.
Yoga blanket under his head.
Yeah.
Is that like the one where you're like,
Okay.
photographer really nailed it on that one?
Let me talk about this since
Please.
you have it here.
Okay.
So can we show this to the camera?
Yes.
Can you all see this? Y'all.
Yeah.
Go
Do you
ahead.
hear that? Yeah.
Tying it back into the chapter 1.
You keep talking. I'll adjust the
So-
picture as I say it.
I am a huge fan, practitioner, and teacher of a style of yoga. Big note for you, Andrew, a style of yoga that involves no effort and is not done in a hot room, and it's called restorative yoga. And it's a style of yoga that is focused on working our nervous system towards the parasympathetic side, otherwise known as rest and digest. Most of us carry a lot of tension in the head, neck, and shoulders. That tension will distort not only your posture, but your voice if you don't take care of it properly.
Right.
And this blanket folding bonanza that is going on here
There is a blanket
is
folding bonanza.
a very fantastic technique for releasing tension from this area of the body. It's something that I have learned from my favorite yoga teacher, and it involves using the blanket to kind of position and give pressure, almost like a gentle massage, so that we're not stretching. That's very important to restorative yoga.
But it is
You're
kind of like,
releasing tension.
yes.
You're getting like optimal posture, gravity, and it feels amazing.
I try to do this with my pillow every night.
Yeah, probably.
That's crazy.
Maybe you should come to one of my classes.
How do you say
Jim.
Savasana?
Shavasana.
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 I love
I mean,
Shavasana.
Sanskrit is not, I'm not a scholar of Sanskrit, so my pronunciation, please, please, please don't.
I love that Andrew says I'll consider
for
it.
that.
He's not going to consider it.
Nice,
But he'll
Andrew.
consider it.
Consider
Yes,
it,
he will.
Andrew.
Yes, he will. I love that guy.
Oh, we can put in YouTube. I have a YouTube channel which has like 3 things on it. And I have a video of some restorative poses.
If you know your...
Can I type on here?
Yeah. If you know your thing, go ahead and type in that
Okay.
while we're talking.
I think I know it.
Okay.
What do
Well,
I
we've
know?
talked about a little bit about starting projects and how difficult that is, but
Yeah,
or how
finishing
easy that is. But
projects.
finishing projects is the hardest thing,
Totally.
of course. That second step, I think there's something to be said about process.
Yes.
Like if the process, if the thing that you're doing, the thing that you're doing to get the project done is fun, if it's an enjoyable process, or if it's a process that's challenging enough that it becomes enjoyable, whether it's a positively charged or negatively charged emotion, as long as it's, you feel it, then it can go. But if the process is shitty, I think you can get turned off to something really fast, no matter how cool or how strong that idea at the beginning was. At least for me, I get really bored quickly.
Donna Libby ordered my book. Thanks, Donna.
What?
Yeah.
Dang. Love it. That's how we do it, people. That is how we do it. Oh, and by the way, for those of you out there who might be Jim Libby fans, I am actually mentioned in the book.
It's true.
In the acknowledgments,
It's true.
I got mentioned in the book. And I'm not exactly sure what I did to deserve that, but I don't care.
You recommended some really great books on improv that had.
Recommended some shit.
He recommended some really great stuff, and
Okay.
and not only recommended it, but then actually sent me copies of it so that I could use it.
Oh, I did?
Yes, you were very helpful.
Oh. See?
So thank you.
See? Sometimes I can be helpful.
You were.
Oh, dang. But what we were talking, oh yeah, Donna bought the book. You were typing the thing in. And
We were talking about finishing projects.
finishing projects, which is the hardest thing. No, the process of continuing it. If the process isn't enjoyable, then you will get turned off by it. And that can often be that second step.
Yes.
Or, for example,
That's why it was hard to write the book, because there I was sitting at my computer. My book is going to come out in a year or
Right.
whatever. And then the moment of doing it was so hard.
I bet.
Just me and the computer. It was not
Are you
not
more
fun.
of a big picture person than a detail person?
Oh, I don't.
Do you find
I don't
yourself
know.
okay? Do you find yourself
know.
like being conceptual more than you
Yes.
are about like I really enjoy getting this and this and this and like checking off the list?
Well, I do get that endorphin rush from checking things off the list. However, I'm very much a big picture person. And at the same time, I can be very nitpicky and hyper aware of details.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're not necessarily one way or the other.
Donna ordered it because you were in there
Yeah, that's why.
to see his name in print.
Yeah, she didn't even know that before she ordered it. Such a bullshitter, that Donna Living.
Intrinsic, extrinsic motivation. Yes, finding intrinsic motivation, finding the motivation that just comes from within is really hard. And I actually write about this in the book because it's not just finding motivation, it's getting into a more creative headspace,
Right.
which is not as easy to do for me by myself.
Right.
Like sitting here bantering with you, like I could do this all night long. And maybe I'll say some things that I think, that sounded pretty good.
Yeah.
Sitting by myself, just generating or writing it down.
Right.
So hard.
Right. And which is interestingly what I was kind of doing at the beginning of the show, where
And
I
I
was
was
just like
on another call.
blah, and not even knowing what I was going to blah about, which is kind of what I based my entire career on.
Is the
but
blah-de-blah?
Is not knowing what my what my blah is going to be.
Okay.
But sometimes it's all about expectation management, I think.
Yeah.
It's often about the ego. I often find that second step gets hindered because you're already thinking about the last step.
Yes.
And comparing where you are now with that rather than just
Yes.
putting the foot in front of the other one. I think that second step often gets impaired by the enormity of the amount of steps that will have to be between where the second step
Yes.
and the last step.
Nothing shuts down action like overwhelm.
Absolutely. And you come back to that cliche thing of climbing a mountain
Step by step.
and you do it step by step, but if you're standing at the bottom, I'm like, holy fucking shit. But if
Totally.
you go step by step and then you realize, oh my God, I made it all the way up here. But then once you get to the top of the mountain, you
Yeah.
got to get back down the mountain. And getting back down the mountain uses lots of different muscles. And I think
another
that's
journey.
where you're at now, because you've gone up the mountain. You've got
Yeah.
a book published, and not everybody does that. And I'm
That's true.
super. Lately I've been wanting to say I'm proud of people.
Thank you.
I find
People don't say that very often.
well, I don't. Okay, here's my
Other than
problem
like in
with this.
movies at the end of
No,
1952, and the
okay,
father says, "John, I'm
Can I
proud
tell you
of
why
you."
I don't want? I don't like to say I'm proud of people because I always feel like I am feeling good feelings, a sense of good feelings for that person because of the work that they did. I have no pride in that. I can't show any pride in that because I had nothing to do like with my students. I
Right.
would often want to say I'm so proud of them, but I didn't do the work. They did the work. And so I found it weird to say I'm proud. And I wish there was another word.
I see
Is
what
it
you mean, because
compersion?
pride is different. But at the same time, the way that we use it in English when we say, I'm proud of someone, I don't think that it implies that it's because of any action that you've taken that you are proud. I think it's somehow that you recognize how hard they've worked and that makes you feel these positive feelings.
Right. And so proud gets used as a substitute for I feel good because of the appreciation I have of the amount of work that you have done, which has led to a success, and the feelings of completion and joy that you are feeling, I am also feeling surrogatedly.
So there's a word in Yiddish for this, I think.
Oh, hit me.
Nachas.
Nachas.
Nachas. I think it's like, maybe the transliteration would be Nachas, but it's like when you feel good about something that's happening with someone else, it like gives you pleasure. Like
Right.
when I did something
which is like the word
and my
compersion.
grandmother was happy,
Nachas.
she would be like, it gives me nachas to like
Nachas.
see you do this thing.
Right.
But I actually think that, I don't know if we're using it correctly or incorrectly, the word or the phrase, I'm proud of you, but I like it. I
hear
like
ya.
hearing it because I don't hear it very often.
Well,
and I think it's different than...
Donna's saying you are proud is an affirmation of their accomplishment.
Yes, I agree with
which
you,
is,
Donna.
Which is what I think what you're saying is
Yeah.
that when I say I'm proud of you, and
It's
you're
not like I'm part of it and that's why I'm
but
proud.
you're hearing, oh my gosh, that person sees me, has
Yes.
has accepted or comprehended the amount of work that I've put into it and are appreciative for me.
They're
of the success.
appreciating me. And I don't think that it even is connected to amount of work or success. Like I can see my son try really hard to do something and completely fail and still feel proud of him for the effort. You know?
Well, that's why I'm always mentioning effort, because I think it's always about that amount of effort.
To see that someone overcomes something
Right.
is so life affirming and uplifting, as being another human being and hearing that story.
Does it give you nachas?
Nachas?
Or do you have nachas?
I don't know. Yiddish is a dead language. Don't ask me.
But I love it.
We
I
would
wanna
have
bring
to
it back.
Google this. We would have to Google
bringing
this.
nachas back. Yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, something like that.
I want to say nachas
I
from now on.
think gives. I'm like trying to remember one of my grandmothers saying it.
Well, there
makes
is
me
the
a
word
little bit clumped.
compersion.
Which I'm not familiar with that
Okay,
word.
so the word
Wasn't on my
compersion-
vocab list.
The word compersion, as I understand the word compersion, is the pleasure that you feel in someone else's pleasure.
Which to me, what I was thinking a few sentences back was saying I'm proud of you is an expression of the opposite of Schadenfreude. When you feel pleasure because of someone else's pain.
Right.
Which is just what you described.
Right.
I love it.
We're getting closer, people. It should be about something.
It should be about words and what the hell they mean.
Tonight with Sarah Scharf. So happy that she's around. Now, I need you to know, we have gone
way overtime.
30 minutes into overtime, which is not unheard of.
Boundaries.
But I do have one last part, and I hope everyone will stick around. We're only going to talk about this for maybe 10 minutes. We'll see. I'm going to give it 10 minutes top, okay?
I still have this much Prosecco to drink.
Perfect.
Before I get on my bicycle and
Because I
bomb
want to
down the
talk
hill.
about practice.
Yes, practice.
That was going to be the third part,
Chapter 3.
chapter 3. Practice.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of people that have practices. People practice things.
Yes.
And yoga is something that is a practice.
Yes, we call it a practice. We also say that you practice yoga rather than you do yoga. We say you practice it.
Right.
Here in the English-speaking Western world.
I want to start this off by saying most people say practice makes perfect. I would like to say practice makes permanent. Discuss.
All right. Well, you're like coffee talk.
Yeah.
Nice. Coffee talk.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Nice. Practice makes perfect. I don't know. I think that might tie into something from Malcolm Gladwell that I've read about this idea of you have to do something X amount of times to become a
The
master.
10,000 hour thing,
Exactly.
which they've already refuted, but is a
Okay.
nice metaphor for things.
It's a nice
but practice
metaphor.
makes perfect is,
But yes,
is a phrase
the
that probably
more
comes
you
from the
do
Greeks.
something, the easier it seems to become in general, the better we feel at something. And maybe that's simply because we feel familiar with doing it. In terms of a yoga practice, I don't define it anymore as the physical ability to do certain actions with my body. Like, I can put my foot behind my head. It's not part of my practice because it's not something that's very healthy for my hip.
Right.
I can do it. It's not good for the structure of my hip socket.
Right.
Do you see what I mean?
I do.
Like, if I do it right now, it's not an issue right now, but tomorrow I'll be like, why did I put my foot behind my head?
Okay. Well, then let's talk about. Okay. So practice in general. When we think of
Right.
when I think about practice, I think about doing something over and over in some way, trying to create an automation in my memory,
Right.
whether it be a physical muscle memory kind of thing, or a coordination memory thing,
Okay.
or you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so I think this is the difference. When we say that yoga is a practice,
Yes.
I think that what we mean is that we're looking at being process oriented.
Agreed.
I'm thinking about from the spiritual and from the philosophical ideas that are at the roots of yoga, which has to do with 5,000-year-old traditions.
Yes.
Based in Hinduism and all kinds of things that, you know, in the white yoga world, we're like, oh, let's not talk about that. But it comes from a very different culture. It comes from the Indian culture. It comes from somewhere else. And I think from what I do understand of Sanskrit and the studies that I have made, practicing yoga is more about being present in the process of how does it feel in my body? How am I breathing with this? How present am I in my mind? In being focused on what I'm actually doing, versus when you're practicing piano because you want to get better. Do you see the difference?
Yes. So I think there's both in this for me. So
Okay.
now I was really glad up until that last bit, because I feel like, yes, there are two different things, but I feel like they're connected. But
I'm not saying that they're connected.
They're not connected.
They're
but they are
definitely
different.
They're connected, and they can be the same thing.
Yes.
And I know piano players who the process is part of the way they do it, and it's not just I want to master this fingering, for
Right.
instance.
Well, because
so it
there
has
are
to do with
things-
the attitude.
Absolutely. So for years I have said improv,
Mm-hmm.
like yoga, is a practice. You can't win yoga. You can't
Although
win.
certain styles had competitions.
Yes, of
but
course.
yes, okay.
And you can't win improv.
And we will not
although
speak the
certain
names
styles
of those
have
styles.
competitions.
Right.
But yeah, just like in improv, you can't win improv. You can't win theater, although there in certain styles there are
You
competitions.
can win a Tony.
You know, but that's a different game, right?
Yeah, it is.
The Tony is a different game
It
than
is.
the practice of your art.
And I think that that's important. Like, what game do you want to be in?
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there are a variety of games and prices to pay.
Yes.
So if you want to be in the game of, like, I want to get my foot behind my head, I want to take a picture, I want to get 1 million likes, that's one game.
Right.
And people are doing that game and calling it yoga.
Right.
And that is a whole other thing to what I consider yoga to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. There's a bunch of people who are. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Now, let's get back just briefly to what's happening.
People are commenting.
Saying you're you practice until it becomes effortless, like to instill a habit.
I think with yoga,
Yeah.
if your question, Pavlov's dog, is about to practice to become a habit, like, yes, ideally you practice on a regular basis so that having a time every day in your day where you recognize now is my time to breathe and feel and move my body, to take care of myself, and to really understand that I am more than just the physical, that I'm a spiritual being in a physical body. If you have a moment where you do that every day, that becomes the ritual.
Well,
that
the ritual is
that becomes
is ritual
effortless, that you
does
get
practice
there.
have to be ritualistic?
I don't know, but I like it to be.
Yeah.
Because, I think theater is a ritual. I like rituals. That's my opinion.
Practice. Let's get back to my original question.
Yeah.
My original posit is, they say practice makes perfect.
Some, yeah.
In some practices.
Yeah.
So in that definition of, I'm going to practice this finger etude until I can do it correctly and I can make it perfect. And I put it to you that practice makes permanent. And what I mean by that is that you can be practicing something, but what you're actually doing is teaching yourself to do it that way. And if you are teaching yourself to do something that is not quite right, and this is one of the reasons why in my classes, for example, I'm always really strict. I'm always kind of a dick about, let's do this exercise.
Yes.
Rather than, well, I can bring a little bit of that, a little bit of that. I mean,
Yeah.
let's do this exercise. And the reason I want it
I don't think that's being a dick. I think that's being a teacher. I think that's being a teacher.
That's for next. That's for part 2.
We're gonna have to have another session.
We're gonna have to have another session. But like, if you're learning how to do curls,
Biceps curl.
bicep curls, then you want to learn how to do that in an ergonomical way. You want to have your form be good, so that you're not doing this kind of thing.
Right,
That you're,
exactly.
that you've got your things locked in, and you're doing the
Exactly.
thing. But if you're practicing it like this, that's going to become, and that's going to.
Yeah.
Practice makes permanent.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And so if we understand
agree.
that practice makes permanent,
Yeah.
then we have to be striving to make sure that our practice is conscious. And conscious practice is an interesting thing because so often we are unconsciously practicing things. I unconsciously practice my street face. Let's not talk about
I'm
me.
so interested in this idea of the street face because recently I have been noticing
Street faces?
sad, angry.
It's because everybody's suspect. It's
Oh,
because everybody's suspect.
but
You could
why?
have it, you could have it, you could have it.
Is it that, or are people just depressed?
It's because everybody's suspect.
But
They're
no,
depressed because
it
of
looks
that,
like
and
it's
they are.
longer than that. I'm like, I look around and there's no spark in people's faces lately.
You're also in Vienna.
That's true.
I'm just kidding. No.
Just kidding.
That's just a. But no, there is part of that. In any case, here's a better example.
What's your street face? I want to see it. Sorry, I've
here's
derailed
my
you.
street face.
Like, I'm awake with my eyes, but that's not your straight face. That's like I'm gonna throw up on you on the streetcar because I'm drunk.
Hey, how you? This is my favorite street face.
I've seen that street face.
No, it's not my
I've
street
s- I've
face. I got
seen
no
that.
street face.
You got no street face.
I got street face, but I don't know my street. Okay, I'm going to talk about a street face. I'm going to talk about not necessarily street face. I'm going to talk about beautiful, attractive young women between the ages of wherever they start to learn it, 11 and 12, until about 19. It's the face that they learn that's this. The bored face.
So I can tell you've been teaching in the public school system.
I am going to make sure that I am not interested in anything that you have face, which of course is a self-defense.
Yes.
But it's something that they've learned, that they've practiced unconsciously.
Yes, they're
It's
not.
something-
They're not like, I'm purposefully gonna tell the world that they can go fuck themselves because I don't care. But that's what their face is saying.
There's tons of shit that we practice all the time because we do it over and over and over.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay, it
And
didn't
because
hurt.
we're unconsciously doing it, which is probably what a lot of this mindfulness is all about.
I'm really a big proponent of mindfulness. And I think what's interesting about mindfulness is that it means one thing within a spiritual context, as in Buddhist practices of mindfulness meditation.
Right.
And then there was a sociologist named Ellen Langer, who's still alive, I believe. And she has written some amazing books. I'll type it in soon. Ellen Langer is a sociologist who coined the phrase within the sciences, mindfulness, which is about paying attention to what you do while you do it. And they did phenomenally interesting studies where they would like take a group of people and put them somewhere with newspapers and everything around them from like 10 years back. And then they would do physical testing, and these people, their physical health would like regress like 10 years.
That's crazy.
It's fucking amazing.
I had the chance to talk.
I'm going to type it in now.
Please do.
Ellen
I had a chance to
Langer,
talk to
such
a
cool
Buddhist monk
stuff. Can I type?
About some of the work that I do, and he was like, "Oh, yes, we call this." It was everything that I was. It was like,
That's-
yes, "Oh, that's a mindfulness exercise. That's a no. That, we would call that this."
Yes. So when I started doing things that were called mindfulness, I felt like, oh, I've been doing this in improv and theater classes
It's
since I
always
was a
about
little
bringing yourself
girl.
to be present.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
putting this together in the book felt like, of course. Because that's how I see the world. I see the world like, this is a partner to play with. Like, what is the world giving me? How am I going to react? What am I doing with it?
Sarah,
Ellen Langer, mindfulness.
You were going to put in all that stuff, and I'm going to call it because that's my favorite.
We got to go to
bit.
bed.
We had a good run, and I love that
It's a
bit
late
at
night.
the end. It's a late night, and I love that you said that. And this is definitely going to have to happen again.
Yeah.
You live far too close to me to
live
not be
like 2 blocks
my
away.
guest again. And we've got a lot more to talk about. I want to ask you so much more stuff.
Cool. Well, I really enjoyed this. Thank you for giving me all this Prosecco.
I'm going to
And,
put on some more music by Belush Karini, who I'm going to meet tomorrow evening
What?
for a rehearsal. We are going to put together the ideas for the new show that's going to happen in Das Windobene, the place that I was talking about at the beginning of the show, where we are going to do a new improvised show called Plötzlich Premiere, which means suddenly premiere. And it's going to be 4 performers, myself, Anna Raab, Ursula Anna Baumgartner, Jürgen Kapaun, and Belush Karini, who wrote the music that you're listening to right now, and we are going to rock it. In any case, next week, 8:30, right here, Thursday on YouTube Live. Thank you so very much. It should be about something. I believe it'll be me and Michael next week. A huge thank you to Sarah Scharf. Thank you so much.
a huge you're welcome.
Good night, everyone. Thank you all very much. And to Pavlov's dog, to Donna, to Andrew, to everybody that was there, thank you very much. I love you all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy,
Stay yourself.
stay yourself.
Don't mutate into someone else.
Practice makes permanent. Be careful.
Be careful what you practice.
Be careful. Yeah, practice what you preach. Good night, Sarah.
Good night, Jim. And now I get to go. Get to go home a little bit drunk.